Nanda, Jai Advaita Chandra Bhatta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhatta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhatta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamita Adi Lila, chapter 10, text 72. Prabhu Rapaduya Dui Purushottama Sanjaya Vyakarane Dui Shishya Dui Mahashaya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The 33rd and 34th branches were the two students of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named Purushottam and Sanjay, who were stalwart students in grammar. They were very great personalities. So we are continuing to read the branches of the tree of Lord Chaitanya. Means the devotees who really did so much preaching. They are like they served Lord Chaitanya so much in his Sankirtana movement. All those devotees are being described here as branches and sub-branches. So there were the Lord Chaitanya students, Purushottam and Sanjaya, and they are the 33rd and 34th branches. These two students were inhabitants of Navadvip and were the Lord's first companions in the Sankirtana movement. According to the Caitanya Bhagavat, Purushottam Sanjay was the son of Mukunda Sanjay. But the author of Sri Caitanya Caritamita has clarified that Purushottam and Sanjay were two people, not one. So sometimes some acharyas may have some kind of, different comments, but we don't get too disturbed by them. We just hear them and we continue reading. Because, for example, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying Purushottam and Sanjay are two different people. Purushottam Sanjay is the same person. Sorry, he's saying Purushottam Sanjay is the same person. He's the son of Mukunda Sanjay, whereas Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is saying Purushottam and Sanjay are two different personalities on the transcendental platform anyways. So let's not get too disturbed by that. Vanamali Pandit Shakha Vikhyate Jagate Sonara Moshala Hala Dekhila Prabhu Rahate. Vanamali Pandit, the 35th branch of the tree, was very much celebrated in this world. He saw a golden club and plough in the hands of the Lord. Vanamali Pandit saw Lord Chaitanya in the ecstasy of Balaram. This is described vividly in the Caitanya Bhagavat Antya Khanda, chapter 9. So Vanamali Pandit, he was able to witness Lord's pastime in his mood as Lord Balaram. Lord Chaitanya, he has many different pastimes with the different devotees in which he's showing some of them his Varahadev form, Lord Nishinga form, Lord Ramachandra form, the Sadbhuj form. He showed to Ramananda Rai, the Sadbhuj form. What's the Sadbhuj? 6 arms. 2 arms of Lord Ramachandra, 2 arms of Lord Krishna, 2 arms of Lord Chaitanya. The arms of Lord Ramachandra are holding bow and arrow. Krishna, they are holding the flute. Lord Chaitanya, they are holding the danda and the pot, the sannyas pot. So, Sri Chaitanya Ati Priya Buddhimanta Khan Ajanma Agnakari Tenho Sevaka Pradhan. The 36th branch, Buddhimanta Khan, was extremely dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was always prepared to carry out the Lord's orders, and therefore he was considered to be a chief servant of the Lord. Sri Buddhimanta Khan was one of the inhabitants of Navadvip. He was very rich, and it is he who arranged for the marriage of Lord Chaitanya with Vishnu Priya, the daughter of Sanatan Mishra, who was the priest of the local Zamindar. So Lord Chaitanya, before he became a sannyasi, he married. He in fact married twice. He married twice. So Buddhimanta Khan, he's one of the persons who was staying in Navadvip. Very rich man, and he arranged for the marriage of Lord Chaitanya and Vishnu Priya. He spent the money, he organized the wedding. Vishnu Priya, she is the daughter of Sanatan Mishra. He personally defrayed all the expenditures for the marriage ceremony. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was attacked by Vayu Vyadhi, derangement of the air within the body, Buddhimanta Khan paid for all requisite medicines and treatments to cure the Lord. He was the Lord's constant companion in the Kirtana movement. So he was always with the Lord constantly. He was in the Sankirtana movement. He was paying certain expenditures for the Lord. He was a rich man, very rich man. So he was the Lord's constant companion. He collected ornaments for the Lord and he played the part of the goddess of fortune in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya. So the Lord sometimes would enact in the dramas. One time he took the part of Lakshmi Devi. Lord Chaitanya, he took the role of Lakshmi Devi in the drama that was enacted in the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya. And the ornaments that the Lord wore, for the drama was collected by Buddhimanta Khan. He also went to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was staying at Jagannath Puri. Garud Pandit, Laya Shri Nam Mangala, Nama Bale Visha, Yanrena Karila Bala. Garud Pandit, the 37th branch of the tree, always engaged in chanting the auspicious name of the Lord. Because of the strength of this chanting, even the effects of poison could not touch him. Garud Pandit was once bitten by a poisonous snake, but the snake's poison could not affect him because of his chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So Garud Pandit, he's chanting so much, so purely. Imagine we get snake bite, what's going to happen to us? But Garud Pandit, he is chanting the name of the Lord. He's been bitten by the snake, but nothing happened. I suggest if we get a snake bite, please get ourselves treated immediately because, we are not, some of us are not chanting on that level. So we need to get the treatment for the snake bite. But yeah, this goes to show the strength of the mantra and the purity of Garud Pandit, the devotion, the shelter that he's, the complete surrender with the love that he's chanting with. Gopinath Sima, Eka Caitanya Radhas, Akrur Bali Prabhu, Yanre Kaila Parihas. Gopinath Shimha, the 38th branch of the tree, was a faithful servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord jokingly addressed him as Akrur. Actually, he was Akrur, as stated in text 117 of the Gaur Gaunadesh Tipika. So Akrur, we know Akrur did the service of coming to Vrindavan to bring Krishna Balaram back to Mathura. So that same Akrur of Krishna Leela has come in Chaitanya Leela as Gopinath Simha, and he is the 38th branch of the Sankirtana tree of love of Krishna. Bhagavati Devananda Brakeshwara Kripate Bhagavatera Bhakti Artha Paila Prabhu Haite. Oh, this is a bit longer. Anyway, Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but by the mercy of Rakeshwar Pandit and the grace of the Lord, he understood the devotional interpretation of the Bhagavatam. There are many people who professionally recite the Bhagavatam, holding Bhagavad Saptas. So many are professional reciters, but are they actually? And Devananda Pandit was one such professional reciter. He had not understood Bhagavatam. He had not understood really what is Bhagavatam. But by the mercy of Rakeshwar Pandit, he understood what is actually Bhagavatam. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda chapter 21, it is stated that Devananda Pandit and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's father, Visharad, lived in the same village. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, we are going to hear his pastimes a lot in detail later on. He was a leader of the impersonalists at Jagannath Puri. He was teaching the Vedanta philosophy in the impersonal manner, monism, and how he became such a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. How Lord Chaitanya spoke the real philosophy to him and his heart changed. So this same Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Devanand Pandit, who we are speaking about currently, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's father and Devanand Pandit were living in the same village. Devanand Pandit was a professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like his interpretation of it. Not everyone who speaks Bhagavatam the way it's supposed to be spoken. Many Bhagavatam speakers are speaking it as a profession just to attract money or fame or whatever. So we need to hear from the devotees. That's the reason we are hearing Bhagavatam now from Srila Prabhupada. In the present town of Navadvip, which was formerly known as Kulia, Lord Chaitanya showed such mercy to him that he gave up the Mayavadi interpretation of Srimad Bhagavatam and learned how to explain Srimad Bhagavatam in terms of bhakti. So Devananda Pandit was explaining Bhagavatam by deviating from what Bhagavatam actually is, by saying that Bhagavatam is all about impersonalism. But after he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he became a devotee and he started explaining Bhagavatam with bhakti. He understood Bhagavatam is completely devotional service. It's speaking the glories of devotional service. Formerly, when Devananda was expounding the Mayavadi interpretation, Srivas Thakur was once present in his meeting, and when he began to cry, Devananda's students drove him away. So what happened was Devananda Pandit, he was just a professional reciter of Bhagavatam. He was just speaking, he was not touching any bhakti, no devotional service, no understanding properly the position of Krishna, position of the living entity, the loving relationship, nothing. He was just saying everything is one, we are all God, something like that. So once Srivas Pandit was there in this assembly, when Devanand Pandit was speaking Bhagavatam, and because Srivas Thakur he's a pure devotee of the Lord. The minute he heard Bhagavatam, the recitation of the verse of Bhagavatam, he got ecstasy. In his ecstasy, he was crying. So Devananda Pandit's students could not understand the position of Srivas Thakur. They thought, oh, he's just creating a nuisance. Let's throw him out of here. So they threw him out of the assembly. But Lord Chaitanya, he did not like this. The Lord never likes his devotees to be offended. So when Lord Chaitanya met Devananda Pandit after some days, he chastised him. He told him how you're speaking this Bhagavatam in such a Mayavadi way. You have to speak in terms of bhakti. What are you speaking? At that time, Devanand had little faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an incarnation of Lord Krishna. But one night, sometime later, Rakeshwar Pandit was a guest in his house, and when he explained the signs of Krishna, Devanand was convinced about the identity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the importance that we need to hear the Bhagavatam from the devotee. After Devanand Pandit heard the Bhagavatam from Rakeshwar Pandit, he understood actually what Bhagavatam is. And then he started speaking Bhagavatam as it is. Thus, he was induced to explain Srimad Bhagavatam according to the Vaishnava understanding. In the Gaur Gaunadesh Tipika 106, it is described that he was formerly Bhaguri Muni, the Sabha Pandit who recited Vedic literatures in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So Devanand Pandit in Krishna Leela, he is Bhaguri Muni. And what Bhaguri Muni would do? He would recite the Vedas, the Vedic literature, Sabha Pandit, in the house of Nanda Maharaj. He would come, you know how you call the Pandits to do the recitations of the various scriptures. So Bhaguri Muni used to do that, and the same Bhaguri Muni has come in Chaitanya Leela as Devanand Pandit, and he is doing this. He's speaking the Bhagavatam. Initially, he was not speaking properly Bhagavatam, but after he got the mercy of Rakeshwar Pandit, he understood what's Bhagavatam, started explaining it, Bhagavatam as it is. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much for listening and joining in Chaitanya Caritamita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. God